Hello, my name is Tiffany Day, and this is my front porch. I am a full-time librarian, but a coffee hobbyist, enthusiast. I've been home roasting for about 3 years. I also roast coffee for Lulu's, which is an aspiring, cooperatively owned plant-based bakery here in Memphis. And I barista very part-time for Dr. Bean's, coffee and tea in the Puck Food Hall downtown. Today we're going to be roasting coffee on the porch in one of the most straightforward and accessible ways to do at home, and that is with an air popcorn popper. This one was gifted to me by a friend. You can find them used online or in thrift stores, but even brand new you can get them for as cheap as 15 bucks. And then I've got some green coffee here, a colander, a wooden spoon, and something to store the roasted coffee in once it's done. With the air popcorn popper, you can only roast about 4 ounces of coffee at a time, which is roughly half a cup, so we'll do that. And the popcorn popper is so simple. It's just hot air moving in a fast circle, and so the coffee you just enter into the chamber. You can heat it up, maybe preheat it for a minute or so that it gets warm. Add your coffee, and then about every minute I like to give it a little stir with the wooden spoon to make sure it roasts as evenly as possible. And depending on the outside temperature, it can be done in as little as 4 minutes, or it may take as long as 8 or 9 minutes. It's a little chillier today, so it might take a little longer. And then once it's ready, and ready kind of depends on your level of taste preference for how roasted your coffee is. I prefer lighter roasted coffee, so I'll start listening for the sounds of the first crack, and maybe 20 to 30 seconds after that is when I will unplug the machine, dump it into colander, and let it cool before storing it. So I think, oh, one other thing, for getting green coffee at home, I use a company that's based out of Oakland, California called Sweet Maria's. They tailor to home roasters. You can buy home roast machines from them, and you can also buy green coffee. They specialize in coffee that is in season from farms that they've established relationships with. And green coffee typically runs between $5 and $7 to $8 a pound through Sweet Maria's. Now here in Memphis, I am aware of one place that at least historically has sold 1 pound bags of green coffee, and that is the Mediterranean Grocery on Park Avenue. They don't label the coffee, so I'm not sure the origin or how long it's been there, but that is a quick local way to potentially get green coffee to roast at home. And then it's a little bit of an adventure because you don't know exactly what you'll be getting in the finished product. So yeah, I think we can go ahead and start roasting this batch of coffee. Okay, so once it's dumped into the colander, you can give it a few good stirs, let it cool down. You want to wait till it cools so that it's just warm to the touch. You can actually handle it before putting it into whatever you're going to store your coffee in. You may also see that chaff is everywhere. It's on me, it's on the porch, and that is why it's recommended to do this outside instead of inside. And you may also notice this popcorn popper does not have that hood that typically would direct your popcorn into the bowl. This one, it was gifted to me and it didn't come with one, but it's also typically recommended to not use it when roasting coffee because it can get hotter than when using it for popcorn, because you may have the coffee in there longer, and you don't want to potentially melt that top. So yeah, let this cool for a few minutes, and then we will pour it into this little jar here to store and brew it up in about 3 days.